Alright, and welcome to Karatha's channel. Thanks to everyone for stopping by. I'll be continuing my new mini-series here, Near Endgame Characters by Role. So this video will be featuring HealersAdjust and why he's my personal tank favorite, and he's earned the endgame tier list ranking of A+, as of version 0.4.5, so looking forward to new changes in the future on this. But HealersAdjust is mostly used in boss fights, PvP, and daily dungeons for me in the endgame. He's particularly helpful in clearing the C4 and C5 tank challenges earlier, so you can start working on those rune stones, or skill stones, whatever the heck they're called. And he has a niche use in the Evil Clone Tower in 4-man poof formations with Big Boned as the leader. Other than that, he's just standard all-around tanky boy, but he's particularly shines in Arena, and he's also very strong in daily dungeon, but we'll go more into his skills and abilities for a little bit more on why and what he adds. Starting off with his leader ability, if it'll click there, Summon War Totem is his leader ability, and it's just a totem that can be summoned, but it taunts. And that's one of the few things in game that actually taunt, and so that's already, a step up. And it also applies attack down to nearby enemies, so leveling it up, it doesn't really add a whole much to its base power, but the attack down amount, 50%, that's quite a bit towards the end. So that's where he gets his huge chunk, is his level 6 there. So that is super useful in boss fights, because you could just, big AoE incoming and you can't dodge it at a time, throw one of those down, or bosses like attacking you, or like squishy, and you could throw that totem down and it'll change aggro and start focusing the totem instead. Normal tank, melee range. His 2-star ability, Threaten, damages, applies attack down, and at level 6 it can also stun. So that's already very good. The funny thing is, though, that the stun duration almost lasts as long as the attack down duration, but it's still useful for bosses just because they're generally stun immune. So that's already, 2 sources of attack down from one tank. And he has my favorite tank passive, which increases your maximum HP, and that's always good, because the thing that generally kills characters in the early game and in the end game is getting just absolutely demolished by enemy AoEs, and so that helps with surviving the hit in case you mess up a little bit, aren't able to move out, or having issues with movement commands. That helps out a lot. So his 4-star ability, Shout, is a stun in an AoE, and then at level 6 it also gives defense down. So you already have attack down, defense down, you have one stun, a second stun here, and a taunt. Like, this is just looking beautiful to me. And then his 5-star ability is yet another stun, which damages and stuns is just one enemy, but then it turns into a very large circle at level 6, as well as actually being able to do a little bit of damage for tank. So that is HealersAdjust, and we'll go ahead and go on to Raid Battle here to showcase some of his abilities real quick. I'll show you since I'm here, but there's my failed Stan attempt. I was showcasing his abilities, talking too much. I look away for half a second and boom, was crit to death. So I won't be doing that again. So anyways, HealersAdjust has a very complex skills rotation because all of his abilities have fairly short cooldowns. So generally he'll start off with Shout once he's within range, and then he'll move on to some auto attacks, but he didn't do it this time. But there is a Shout, then he'll follow up with Threaten usually. Bam, there's that. And then by then his leader ability is usually done. And there's Nobody Move, and then he'll follow up with Shout again after another couple of auto attacks. And so you see, he's just kept these guys stun locked for quite some time, and we could use this, and then Rick could show that the enemies are now attacking this totem, and you could even check and see that they have quite a bit, 50% attack down just from the totem alone. And so if he does that right there, we could check to see how much it is. 75% total attack down. That is a huge amount. So that's what makes him quite strong, especially versus bosses. He gets that skill rotation going. He doesn't even need to be the leader, but that just really helps quite a bit in the early game surviving, and then in the end game versus bosses. So that's my summary for for HealersAdjust. Hope you all enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next videos.